So here, I just walked through that just so you could see how I diagnosed the problem, how I understand the problem. And now this is actually where I had been before with this model data. I started over here with this JSON decoder. They asked me to make it decodable. It got to be too much work. So then I created, I realized that, okay, all I really need to do is for every bit of this hunk of JSON that I get, this is the JSON that I get, all I need to do for that hunk of JSON is to create a comic info, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do with this method in here. I'll click this method that I created, and I'm saying take in the JSON dictionary, which is just key value dictionary, take that information and make a comic info, create a comic info item. And so that's what I want to do. And then of course I'm gonna call, after I do that, I'm gonna say something like geez, I don't even know where it's at, but there's going to be a managed object. Somewhere there's going to be a managed object in my code. I kind of know where it's at. It's usually when you have this kind of core data thing, usually the managed object is inside of the app delegate. So usually there's an app delegate, and then over here there's a property that has, save context. And that's usually how you save the database. This is kind of always inside your thing. So if I were over here in my data object, my class that deals with the data object, after I straighten out this little comic book thing and get the comic item to be right, I would just say something like, I don't know, app delegate. Oh no, I say something like this, probably UI application. Oh, did they change this again? Oh, I don't have UI kit imported. Yeah, that's really what I want. So this, sometimes you don't want everything from UIKit, you just want one thing. So in this case, I just want a way to access my app delegate. So I can now say UI application, shared, something like that. Delegate. So sometimes people ask you, do you remember this, that, and the other thing? The only way to remember it is and then I say as app delegate, and then open that up like this. You got to surround it by these brackets, and then you could say something like whatever the property is. What's that? Yes, I'm casting it right there. And so then you could say something like save context. Okay, so then this is actually a method call where I just cast it to the app delegate, which is the name of the app delegate always in Xcode project files. I just say, okay, we got a shared delegate out there. Let's cast it to the local file name, the local class name, and then call the context to save it. So first thing is, though, I really do have to, like, in order to resolve this error, I'm going to actually have to resolve the error. So let me see. I could try. Actually, I thought that. See, I know what they're saying. What they're saying is that this function, I believe I know what they're saying. They're saying this JSON function here throws an error, and this function throws an error, but this one doesn't do anything. This one does not. And so yeah, so actually this I think I need to add just one word here to see if I can get a good fix on the solution, like unless I have to solve it myself, but usually someone else has already solved it normally. So let me see here if I can go back. I want to see if I can go back. Yeah, good. And what I want to do here is just add this piece so people know it's this JSON serialization that's kind of throwing this. And now looking into it, I'm hoping I'll get the right context. All right, dude. Well, that's fine. Right. So what they were saying is to solve this, you should catch and handle the errors that can happen when you try to decode the JSON. So the simple way for me to catch and handle those errors, like I tried here to do, just add this try statement, try catch, the try statement, because it will either make it null or it'll produce an error. So I tried this before, and I don't know, I thought that should work. Yeah, that did take the error away from the top. That took away that error, and it produced this error. Okay, and now this is another thing. This is a simpler thing. So now I have, and then I could just say, this is also, so this is fixable. I can actually fix this right now. I could either fix it by just doing this, which is bad, right? And no more errors. I should have no more errors. Let me see. Oh, so now this is complaining that it's not optional. Okay, interesting. So I could go here, and then maybe now that's fixed, and then here, and that's fixed. So I think that'll, I'm trying to let the compiler look it over and see what they think. I think that's the right combination of stuff, but I never like using a force unwrapping here. So I'm probably gonna make that like a let statement somewhere up top, where I look at that value and unwrap it, so that unwrapping is very important, so you don't make bad things happen. But yeah, actually it's weird, because you know what's funny? This is already, this is a let already. This is so, oh, I see. It's either going to be a let or it's or nil. Okay. Okay. Little weird. But so the thing is, that's interesting, is that I will never get, it's really kind of weird to me, because this JSON value that's down here, it's actually it'll never get inside here unless it has some data. So it can be, this is like a weird exception where, like, because I'm saying let here, this if let is right here, and I'm trying this, if this is nil, then it's never going to get inside. So it always is going to be something, right? It's always going to be this. Something is always going to be a valid JSON. So, you know, in this case, that I hate having that. I'd rather check and just verify that maybe I'm going to pass this to something that says is valid JSON, just to make me happy. I hate to force unwrap. I like to think about it, and yeah, I'll probably come up with a better solution later. But for now, this is the quick and dirty solution. Everything is actually fixed. There's no more. Sorry, there's some error somewhere, but I don't know. It's not in this file. It's in the app delegate file or something. I don't know. I have no idea how that got in there. Okay. So x equals array or whatever. I don't know what that is. I was doing something, obviously, and I stopped in the middle. But as you can see, there's no more errors. So that is how, this is how we basically, just using just a quick outline again. I'm going in from the point of access to the JSON data I look at. Then I take that and I go into a URL session data task with the URL. That's my URL right there. And I get back three things: data, response, and error. I check my error. I check my response. I check my data. Here's where I'm checking my data, and if it's good, if I actually have something there, so I actually have some data, then it'll go in. If I actually have some data and that data is JSON, has some JSON in it, then I go into it and I pass it into this new method that I called, which basically just takes the JSON and gives me and converts it into a comic info item. And then after I get that comic info item, I could just call, because it's just been created, I could save it. I'm sure that there's probably a step in here I'm missing, like adding it to the contact. I don't know. I'm missing something, I know. But I just leave myself a note. Do I have to do that? I think I have to I don't know. I might have to do that, or just the act of creating it here with this JSON may mean that it already exists in a database. So either way, I'm gonna, I would put a breakpoint, I'd run it, and I'd see what the heck happens. But this is all a new separate class, right? So it is, I haven't called it yet. I'd have to create this class in my UI view controller from some point, and then tell it to import the JSON from this URL and then feed it a URL, which is going to be this URL here. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. Yes.